morning. Hope everybody's okay. It's not particularly brilliant out here today, but at least it's dry. And we have had the guy at the end of the garden just getting rid of his shed, so hopefully that's all down and we won't have any more banging. But if we do, I'll just have to pop and shut the door. Now, the first thing I wanted to say was if you go to my Facebook page, which you are on at the moment, there is a competition running, and it is to win one of those two paintings. Now, the only thing you have to do in order to be in with a chance to win one of those is to like the video and share the video. And if you would do those two things for me and then comment underneath the video so that I know you've shared, because some of you have privacy settings that aren't allowing me to see that you've actually shared the video. And then on Sunday, which is the don't have a calendar, but this Sunday, I'll put all the names in a hat and we'll draw a winner. Okay, so good luck with that. Now, today I'm actually bringing in the C word, and I know I've got some friends that can't stand it, that I'm Christmasified already, but as a crafter you will all know you have to start preparing for the Christmas season early, and as lockdown is now easing and I'm beginning to get notifications of craft fairs that are being restarted, so I'm starting to prepare for them. I must admit I usually start a lot earlier, but I didn't because I didn't know if we would still be in lockdown and if they would still go ahead. I've had a few cancellations for Christmas, but starting to get a few others that just changed the date, so that's good. So what are we doing here? Well, this is a picture that I quite often do freehand just to put on Christmas cards, so that my hand painted Christmas cards that I sell obviously at Christmas. And in the picture that I'm looking at now, it's Annette Kowalski's book of florals, which is, I think it's the book 2. And Annette Kowalski, for those of you who don't know, was actually the woman behind Bob Ross, not in a partnership, physical partnership, because Bob was married to somebody else, as was Annette Kowalski, but she financed him and she gave him the lift, and they were business partners right up until he died in '95. So she carried on the technique. She was more florals, whereas Bob was everything else. So this is one from her book. I love it and I do use it an awful lot, like I said. But this one, because we're in England and we don't have chickadees in England, so I'm going to put a pair of robins sitting on a basket. And the basket will have pine cones, and it will have pine leaves, holly berries, that sort of thing. So what I've done is I drew it all on, and I wasn't convinced that I would be able to see the birds through the liquid opal, which was one I introduced to you last week, so I'm using it again. So what I did was I first brushed on some liquid clear onto the birds, just left them on their own. And then I went over the rest of it with the liquid clear. Now the basket I wasn't quite so bothered about. I can just about see where the basket's going to be, but that may change anyway, because if these birds grow a little bit, which they are likely to do, if they actually, because they started out, you can just about see the original drawing here. So they started out about that size down there. They've grown a little bit. They may grow a little bit more. And if they do, then I'll have to grow the basket to suit. Otherwise, they'd break the basket. Mind you, sometimes little robins do puff themselves up and they look quite fat. So that's what I'm imagining. And then we'll have some snow down here. It's just a basket. Somebody's been gathering some winter foliage for a wreath or just a table decoration, and these two little guys have just come along and gone, there's berries down there. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Now in the background, like I said, there's going to be some snow down here, which I'll do much later, But up here, I've got an idea that it's not night time. I don't want to say it's night time because it's not, because night time you don't get robins. But let's just say it's a very sort of dullish day. So what I'm going to do is start with a little bit of this dioxazine purple. I'm getting better, aren't I? And a little bit of phthalo blue. And when I say a little bit, I really don't want much colour, because this actually is quite a nice colour. So she doesn't want much colour, and then she gets all this bright colour. But it will dull down, and I am going around the edges again. As I explained earlier, I found that more and more people, when they're buying the paintings, weren't actually putting on frames. And I thought, well, if you're not going to put on a frame, then I really need to be helping you out and painting around the corner. So that's what I've done. So there we go. There's a little bit of a mixture there. We'll start up again in this corner. I do tend to start in the corners to make the corners a little bit darker, so that you can, it draws your eye into the painting a little bit. So let's say this is about dusk, maybe a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. There we go. And we'll bring this down, obviously, round the birds. Joeys, as my husband calls them all. Doesn't matter what kind of bird it is, they're all joeys. I have tried explaining to him that joeys are actually baby kangaroos, but can't change the habit of a lifetime. Okay, it will come down to there. I don't know if we've got two people watching. In fact, I do think I'm one of those people, but hey. Okay, now I've gone over his face a little bit, but I can still see him underneath, which is the main thing. So we'll go around the corner here, and I think I'll probably start some snow around there, so I'll bring it down to there. Now, this is a little bit loose. I perhaps should have tightened the canvas a little bit, but don't worry, we'll get there. Okay, again, real hairbrushes, they will shed just like we do. Okay, and I think, take a step back and have a look, perhaps a little bit more purple at the top, because this is the sort of colours I'm going to use for the snow, only with some white, and we'll bring that down to there. Okay, so there, and I think that will do to start. Now, I've also, so I will forget a few times, I'm bound to, I've also moved my beta tub bin thing to the other side, because I did notice that when I spoke to you, you couldn't hear what I was saying. Why? Because that was making too much noise and the camera wasn't picking it up. So I'm picking that noise up. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for the background. So I'm going to do my birds first, and doing my birds first, I am going to get, she says, a brush. It's always a good idea if we're doing painting to get a brush. Right, so I'm going to start with the dark brown piece. The robins are a lovely brown, and this is burnt sienna. That's Van Dyke brown, and it is dark sienna, which with a little bit of Van Dyke brown is very similar to the colour of robins. Okay, so I'm going to go down and around, and that's his wing. And if you just, there we go, Now I'm only bringing it to about there. I think robins usually have a rounder head than that, so we'll go for that. And then we'll come around like that. Okay, because I've got a picture of a robin and that is pretty much all the brown that they have. So we'll, since he's fluffed up, he won't have a straight line, he'll be a little bit, and we'll come to there. Okay, so that's the end, that's that robin. We'll do the other robin. Where's his head? His head is just about there as well. And he's going to come back. Now I've got to be careful because I don't want to go over this robin. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll come down, and this is his wing. I think that might be a little bit in front, maybe behind. I'll make my mind up later. The robin also has a tail, doesn't he? So if that's, I think we'll put the robin's tail out there. There we are. And his is hiding behind so we don't see his. Okay, so now we'll change. Now I know a lot of people don't realise this, but robins actually have a grey bit. The grey bit at the top, which goes just in front, sort of separates the red and the brown. And I'll be honest, it's only when you're really painting robins that you realise about that grey bit, because normally people just put in white or the brown and then the red, not realising that there is actually quite a grey bit there, and it comes all the way down to under there. Okay, still no comments? Is anybody out there? Is anybody with me? You've got 2 people watching. I think I'm one of them. Okay, we'll go here. Come back down. Come to there. And again, a little bit down here. All right. So I've drawn these ones on previously because obviously it's live and I don't want to spend my time correcting and playing about. But what I do tend to do is draw them freehand when I'm drawing them for my Christmas cards. Now you could, I suppose, draw this, paint this and then get prints of it, but I do think that people are paying a reasonable price for the cards. They deserve to have hand-painted cards. So I do tend to sell more hand-painted than anything else now. Used to do prints, and I do some, but I only charge like £1, £1.50 for those, for the cardstock and the glue and everything. But the ones where I charge for £3.50, something like that, they are all hand-painted. I don't do prints, not anymore. So I used to, but just felt it was a bit of a swizz. Okay, so yes, I've gone into cadmium orange, and then I'm going to add some bright red. So we need some darker red for the darker pieces and a little bit of cad yellow for the lighter pieces. There we are, and just the plain orange in another piece. Because the light, there will be a little bit of light and that will hit him. Okay, so we're going to pop in the red, bring it round his beak, and there, and again tiny little short strokes, really puffed up, isn't he? I think he's going to be in front of this guy. So there we go. And we'll have a little bit of darker red for underneath. There we go. In fact, I'll have a little bit of alizarin crimson if I can get any on my brush, just to put in, because I do have like a piece in the middle that will, now I think I've gone too far with the red, but I can go over that. I'll bring back the, there we go. I'll bring back the grey, because he is just a robin redbreast, isn't he? Okay, so that's him. Let's get his partner in crime. He's looking down a little bit. There we go. Around the beak. Needs to be a bit brighter, so we'll add a little bit of the orange. Where is he? He's around and about here. Again, he's puffed his tummy out. Oh, look at that, big fat robin. There we go. He's right. Okay, I think that's Mr. and Mrs., isn't it? Okay, there we are. Okay, I think Mrs. has been on a diet, so we'll puff her out a little bit as well. Puff her out a little bit more. We'll bring her around to there. Okay, and I'm just dabbing because I don't want them solid colours. I want a variety of colours, like the lights hitting them. And plus, don't forget their feathers. So feathers, various amounts of oil on them, they will show up different colours. Okay, with this smaller brush, all I'm doing is going in, washing the brush and then wiping it on my towel. Okay, so we'll go back into the titanium white, a little bit of this grey colour, and we will bring the grey and the red together. Okay, so a little bit of the grey down there. Alright, so now I need, what I am actually going to do is, I do a lot of mandalas. So what I'm going to do is find, oh yes, find a dotting tool, and I'm going to go into the black and just tap so that I have a nice even coating on my thing here. Right, I'm just going to put this down for a second. So I do need to steady my hand. And there's his eye. And hopefully there's enough there. Okay, there was just enough for the two. So when it's dry, I'll go back round a little bit more and add a little fleck of white. Not really any point in trying to do it at the moment. Now first off, I've got my little script liner. I need to give him a beak, which is a brown beak. So there's one, and then I'll add a little bit of dark because the other half is in shadow. Okay, do the same, only I'll do reversed. I'll do that bit, and then I'll go back into the brown. I know they have longer beaks than that, but go, and then we'll just, I'm going to put my finger on here just to steady, because I need to go around the eye with the brown. Okay, now because I've got that little finger mark there, it's not an issue because it will, because it's all wet and you're working wet on wet, it will just disappear. Okay, so where's my brush that I was using? Go back to the orange. Don't think this was the brush I was using, but it's the one that's there, so that'll do. And we'll tidy up his eye, tidy up his eye a little bit. And as you've watched me before, you know that when I'm really concentrating, I do tend to go quiet, so I apologise for that. There we go. And there's our two little robins. Okay, so now let's get the basket sorted. In fact, I think he needs a little bit more of the black. He needs his eye fixing. So I'll go back in, put that down. Oops. Put that straight on there. And there we are. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do, because otherwise that'll get worse. Alright, so have we got anybody else with us? No? Excuse me, just need a cup of tea. My throat was going a little bit dark, My throat was going a little bit dry. Okay. Now, I need a slightly bigger brush. So I'm going to use this one, which is a Donna Dewberry flat 12. I don't know, that probably about half an inch maybe. So now I'm going to mix light and dark. So that's Van Dyke Brown, and then we're going to do where the handle is. Okay, so we're going to sit there. That'll disappear in there, and then the underside will come out this side. May not see that by the time I'm finished, I don't know. Okay, and that's where they're sitting, and I'll put their little feet in later. The actual basket I'm going to do is going to be a wicker type basket, one that you would indeed gather in the woods. So we'll come up and around and back up. Just keep reloading your brush. Then you'll come down just a little bit in, start across. I'll just get a little bit of black with that, because you will have a little bit of a shadow underneath there. Okay, then we're back to the browns, the mix of the browns. Come in a little bit. There we are. And again. We've all seen these kind of baskets, like a little trug of some kind. We'll come across here. I will put, so that might go across, you might just see the tops, don't know. But that definitely comes in front. All right, so that's basically, I'm just going to do one final sweep for the base. And then we will do not for the top, because the top is going to stay like that. This is going to be a wicker work. So we're just doing a little bit of wicker, a little bit of weaving. Like that. Get a bit more paint. Okay, and down the bottom, because this will come out here. Put it in there. And then we won't bother with the bottom. I will just use the Van Dyke Brown, and I'll just put a base in along the bottom like that and blend that in a little bit. Okay. So the top, the handle needs to come down and will come over and do a little sort of an S shape. You know they've got those bits that go across, haven't they, to show it's quite round. Same on the other side, only in the other direction. And that's going outside. And that is basically your basket. Okay, hello lovely. Hello Michelle, how are you doing? Are you still working from home? I know Ryan is. He's working from home still, although he has started popping into the office, so maybe things are starting to get back to normal. Okay, so what are we going to put in here? Well, I'm going to have, going to start with blue, and I'm going to start by up here just putting a few lines. Yeah, I know, I haven't lost the plot yet. Then we'll mix the blue and the white. We're going to have a little bit of phthalo green, and this is going to become some pine needles. Okay, and they'll just pop out there. A little bit of white. Start from the top. Okay, this is just background foliage. Okay, there we are. Different colours. We'll have that one coming up there. Because the lady's just been, we'll have this one coming from behind. In fact, I think I'll put him up there. So a little bit darker, a little bit black maybe, just to add perhaps a little bit of the phthalo blue, just to, there we are, just to add a little bit of depth. And pine needles go every which way, as we all know. So this is like a blue spruce or something. Do we have them over here? I'm assuming we do. People seem to buy the cards with them on, so I'm assuming we have them over here. There we are. Okay, a little bit more. Right, so that's going up that end. I'm going to do some more this end as well. I'm going to have some that are laying down like that. So again, a little bit of white, mix it in because you need some highlight as well as you need light and dark, you need all sorts of colours. There we are. A bit more white. Literally just pulling down, straight down. On there. Pulling down on that. Laying in there. Going to have a little bit more of the blue and put some dark in it. Because as they always say, you need dark to show your lights. We need a little bit dark. There we go. We'll go there. Right, now we're going to put some holly leaves in. In order to get the holly leaves, first off, we're going to need some twigs for the holly to stand on. So we're going to have some, you need to try and make sure that your brush comes to a fine point. So I will have a branch coming there. I'll have one sticking out there. I'll have one that goes over those. And we'll have one that's coming down the front. We always have one that comes down the front. Okay? Just because it breaks up the monotony of a basket. Greens for a holly, got to be sap green. So might actually add a little bit of black to it to darken it up, because holly leaves are a real, what I call bottle green. They're really dark green. So start at the top. That's one side. Down there. We'll just do a little leaf thing at the top. Again, a little bit of dark, a little bit more green. Then we'll do, you start at the top, up, up and down, and then just one side. Then it looks like it's curved. So we'll have another one this side, down. Don't know if you can see that with the way the camera is angled. But there we are. Again, down, up, turn, and then come down that side. Okay, onto the twig. I'll have a little bud of one just opening up the top. I'll have one underneath, going that way. I really do hope that you will go onto my Facebook page and have a go at winning one of these two paintings, because I know the cynics in you will be saying, oh, you're only doing it for page likes. It's not. I do like my paintings to go to happy homes, and the trouble is, doing so many during lockdown, I really need people to be taking them and buying them and giving them good homes. And I know there are a couple of people, one particular who shall remain nameless, but she knows exactly who she is, has done so much, bless her heart. She really has been so supportive. In fact, everybody's been supportive. I don't really know anybody that's had anything horrible to say. Everybody's tried to tune in, watch it when they can, when they come back from work, which is lovely. which is really sweet. You don't expect after a hard day's work that people would actually want to sit and watch me paint, but they do, which is lovely. Okay, there we are. So we're beginning to fill up the basket. We'll have some up here. So they're just very, very quick suggestions of holly leaves. They're not, oh, these are absolutely perfect holly leaves. They're not. They're just leaves that look like hollies. So we'll start at the top, zigzag it down, and one the other side. Do one at the top here, standing proud. Keep your brush loaded, go back because you will pick up this back colour. We don't really want to be doing that. We want to be, sounds like the guy's breaking up his shed now. So hopefully that will be the end of that noise. These are a little bit long, but maybe these are a variegated type of holly. Oh, it's my world. My holly can look how I want it to look. And we'll have another one up there. Go there. Couple down here. Yeah. Again, we'll have one on the end. It's just unfurling. One over here. Oh, we've got this one coming down here, haven't we? So, upside down. Start at the top, 2, 3, to there, straight. 1, 2, 3, straight. Do that thing at the end there. I'll come back. We'll have that there. So it's 1, 2, 3. Onto there. They're just curled a little bit. 2, 3. And then we'll do 2, 3 on the other side. It's there. So you say we've got loads of background leaves now, and I think I will put another one. Few leaves in there, just which might be some sort of leaf that they've just spotted. Oh, drop my brush because I'm not holding it very, pick up some of this cad yellow, so I'm not really holding it very tightly, because obviously I'm trying to do, a couple of these in. Do I know what these are? No, I don't know what they are. They're just fantasy flowers. I'll add a little bit of orange to them. And we'll have some coming off here as well. You can see them. There they go. Then all we do is grab our brush, a little bit of brown, and we'll just put a little bit of a stem that connects those together. Same here. You wouldn't have it just, there we go. Again here, we'll have a little bit that just goes, and you don't see it all. Right, so now we also need the brown, which I need to wash my brush because that's not brown anymore. So, pick up the two browns, and they've picked up a couple of fir cones. So 1, 2, 3, nice and straight. Then you're just pulling down, pulling down. Don't forget to do the one there, and a little stick. Okay, we'll do another one. Have another one that's sitting in here, a little bit darker. Now, you may be thinking that does not look like a fir cone. Well, it will. Okay, I've gone right up to the ferrule in this bit. There we go. I'm going to have one that goes there as well. And I'm going to have one that goes in here as well. But that's in the middle of things. Right, so because this is snowbound, we go back, same brush. Oh, look at my white, it's disappearing, it's trying to do a runner. Okay, just taking the brush, just dab a little bit of snow stuck to fir cone, and there we have a fir cone all of a sudden. See what I mean? They just appear. It's magic, this it. This really is an amazing way to paint. Things just appear before your very eyes. Get rid of some of the colour, go back to the white. There we are. Who forgot watching? Oh, we only got one watching, which is probably me. I'd say I'm not bothered so much as I know people do tend to watch me afterwards. But there we go. There. And that's those. Now what I am going to do is, because it's holly, and holly, as we all know, has bright red berries. But first, before we do the holly, I'm going to use my knife. And I'm going to get the snow. I'm going to add a little bit of purple into my snow, a little bit of the blue. And this is going to be my snow, guys. So, my snow is going to just lay all over here in wedges, as I would say, swathes. Doesn't have to go everywhere, because raise it up a little bit, have that coming down a little bit, build up around here, a little bit more pink, purple, a little bit more blue, mix all the colours together. Start it round the corner, guys, don't forget, round there, bring all that in. It's just swathes of it coming across. I'll bring that round with the brush probably. I'll soften it all up, but that's going in there. There we are. You can have the different colours, and the gaps, don't worry about the gaps, because the gaps are just shadows in the snow. A little bit more white. There we go. Come down here, a little bit across. Build it up so it's around the basket. Across. A little bit more down here. There we are. Come back on that. Yes, I know that looks wrong at the moment, but it'll look right when I've smoothed it out, because you have, this is basically the lay of your land. So this is what, you've just put your basket down for a few minutes. Okay, and there we are. Right, clean my knife. I'm going to get my thing again, and first of all I'm going to take some of my red, some of the orange and some of the alizarin crimson. So mix it, but don't over mix it. Alright, now again tap. I'll have some, no, it's not thick enough, I need to pile it up. So just pile it up, put in there. It's 1, 2, 3, just hints here and there. I have 1, 2. You're not getting whole ones, but that doesn't matter because you don't see all the berry anyway. I have 2 down here, so I don't want it always 3s, although 3 is a nice number. 1, 2, wipe it off, get some more paint. There's 3. I'll have some up here. Okay, 3 like that. Going to have some that have fallen off. They'll be a little bit darker maybe because they'll be in shadow. So we'll have another one there. Been a bit careless, whoever this lady is, with her. And we've just been joined by a wasp, hey ho. Hopefully he's gone back out again. There we go. There we are. So there's a few little berries that have fallen off. We'll have another couple of berries in here. Okay. Because let's be honest, that's what the birds are going to be interested in. They're not going to be interested in all this foliage stuff. They're going to want to have the berries. Okay, so I'll have that there. Now, with the brush, I'm going to take a fan brush and I'm going to dip it in the liquid white. Oh, I can get the liquid white open, which I can, yay. But that also means I will be getting it everywhere because I always do. There we are. A little bit of the liquid white, which is just that light medium. And I'm going to, using that, just stick a little bit of snow on the top of the basket. And we'll have a little bit of the purple added to it. So there's a little bit of snow on there. We'll have a little bit of snow on there. So a little bit of snow underneath. Just smooth that off a little bit too rough. Bring it round the corner. There we are. A little bit of snow on the berries. All I'm doing is touching the top of the berries with the brush. There we are. A little bit of snow here and there. A little bit of snow under the joeys. There we are. Put the snow underneath there. They just need to put their feet. I just need to put their feet on. Okay, that's that. I will need, for their feet, I will need this brown colour. And all I'm going to have is just a few little claws on there. And then there we go. And a few little claws. There we are. And that's them. And that, I think is going to be that. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Something a little bit different. Something I haven't done for you before, which is birds. You may be looking at it and thinking, I know why she's not been doing birds. But like I say, there's they are. And there's the bee. Right, well I hope, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing it. It's been quite fun. It's been nice to do something that's so totally different. I will probably add a few more things falling over so the basket's a little bit more hidden maybe. But that's it for today. Please do visit my Facebook page and join in the free giveaway. Have a look on the website, rbyart.co.uk, see if there's anything there you fancy, or if there's anything you want to get in touch with me about in order to paint anything special, any commission. I'm on Instagram. Please give me a look up and follow me on there. Ruth J. Baldry 9, I believe, on Instagram. And I'll be back next week. Have a good week. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.